What is it like to live with someone with ALS?
It's been an interesting year. My husband was diagnosed a year ago, the end of February. And at that time, he could walk and do everything fine. He just had a funny feeling in his left foot. And when he walked, it kind of slapped a little bit. And they called that drop foot. And then by summer, he had a kind of a splint on his leg, a brace, and walked with a cane. And then he fell in the 1st of July and cracked a vertebrae in his back, and he's really gone down the hill fast since that, with using a wheelchair for him, and now I have to use a lift to lift him out of the wheelchair, to put him in bed, or to take him to the bathroom. So it's the good thing, it comes on gradually, but it's been a tough year. A lot of changes, and it's so sad to see the person you love going downhill so much. You know, he can't even give me a hug anymore. And when I hug him, it hurts him because he's so achy and all. So it's tough living and watching the person you love deteriorate at this time. So.
What's your daily routine with him?
Well, the daily routine seems to be daily and nightly, because he needs help sometimes clear around the clock. But usually he'll wake up in the night a time or two needing to use the urinal. And so I help him with that, and then he usually wants some of his pain meds. He's become very anxious, and it's hard for him to breathe, so that makes the anxiety level high. And so he takes an anxiety pill, so I usually help him with the urinal and get his meds and give him a drink and often reassure him and stuff. And then I go back to bed, and then maybe twice or 3 times the night he'll need help like that. And then getting him up is crazy, because he can no longer move either leg. He can hardly move his arms. His body is just pretty much dead weight. So I have the Hoyer lift, it's called, and I have to roll him and put a sling underneath him, roll him back and pull it around him, and then pick him up with the lift and take him into the toilet, or take him to the shower. And now he can't even brush his teeth, so I have to brush his teeth for him and wash his face for him. And fortunately, we have aides. We had a community-based health coming in, and they would give him a shower and do his leg exercises each day, so that helped a lot. But then on the weekends, we didn't have that help. So, but he's gone from being able to enjoy all the different foods. We've always traveled a lot, and now I have to feed him every bite. He can no longer pick up a cup and drink a sip of coffee. In fact, Emmy has been good to help him this morning with drinking his coffee and getting a drink of water. So it's a lot of different changes, and in the last 2 weeks he can hardly use his arms or hands. So if his nose itches, I get to go itch his nose, or scratch his ears, or scratch his head, or wiggle the mask. He's wearing what's called a BiPAP, and that just blows air in to help him breathe, because his torso muscles, his diaphragm, has lost a lot of muscle.
What are some of the foods he cannot eat?
Basically, he eats whatever he likes. He's always loved nuts, and now he can't eat nuts because he sometimes chokes on the little pieces. And sometimes rice causes him to choke, but he still eats it and all.
So you did say earlier it's hard for him to communicate. So what do you think it feels like for him?
Well, along with the not being able to communicate, if he needs to cough, I tease him that he coughs like a polite little old lady, because he goes, and that's all the more he can do. And sometimes he chokes, so I have to lean him forward and pat his back, trying to help him clear that. The speaking, it's hard for him to talk because the diaphragm has lost so much muscle strength. And interestingly, he's been using the BiPAP for several months to help him breathe, and he can talk better with that on than without it on. But he's fast losing the ability to talk very much, and it wears him out.
Thank you for this interview.
You're very welcome.